Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel for Catch. My name is Sam and I'm the founder and lead coach here at Catch. Unshakable confidence is the key to getting everything that you want in life and dating. So on this channel we talk about everything to do with confidence, mindset and how to utilize that in all areas of life, but with a focus on dating and relationships. So today we're going to be answering a subscriber question which has come up in a few different ways, which is, can a confident person be shy or introverted? And we wanted to address this because there's a misconception about what confidence is. And we did a video a few days ago, or a couple of videos, called What Does Confident Mean? And what is confidence made of, and can it be learned? So we'll link those down below. And what we cover in that video, or those videos, is that confidence is not the confidence that comes across in the films, which is external confidence, you know, the loudest person in the room, the person showing up to a party and, you know, working the room and speaking to everybody, or dominating every conversation, or the leader who's very dominant and authoritative and is always the first one to speak. That's external confidence. And actually some people that exhibit those behaviors are the most insecure, and they feel like they need to dominate in a work situation or even in a relationship because they want to have that power, they want to feel in control, and that comes from insecurity. They cannot feel safe unless they are the ones who feel they're in control, feel they've got the power around those around them, and that they can only be right, or they have to be the center of attention because they're looking for external validation. So often what is conflated with confidence is the exact opposite. And just because we see those behaviors externally doesn't mean that it matches how they feel internally about themselves. What is much more important is our internal confidence. And we're going to do another video where we deep dive more into what does true external confidence look like in terms of behaviors and actions, and what does true internal confidence look like. But when we talk about confidence, at least on this channel, and the true definition of confidence is self-belief and your self-image. So how do you feel about yourself, your capabilities, and your ability to achieve whatever it is you want in life, whether that's career, relationships, social life, you know, setting up your own business, whatever it is that you want to achieve. How do you see yourself in relation to that topic? To what extent do you feel like you can achieve that? And how much do you trust yourself and value yourself and trust the world and the people around you to support you in achieving those things? So you can be introverted and shy, but still know that you're worthy, you're valuable, you can achieve anything that you want out of life. You can trust yourself to figure things out, and you can trust other people that they have good intentions and that you're going to get what you want out of life and that things are going to work out without necessarily having to control every single interaction that you're in, or dominate that interaction, or be the loudest person in the room. And we would even say that some of the most confident people are those who can go into a situation and not judge it straight away. They can go in and observe the dynamics as to what's going on, gather the relevant information, and reflect quietly on that, and then decide how to move forward, whether that is a business deal or a difficult conversation with a friend, or maybe you're not hearing back from somebody that you're interested in romantically, and you're able to look at the information that you've got and say, you know what, this is nothing to do with me, I'm just going to let it play out. And it takes a lot of confidence to take your hands off the wheel and trust yourself and those around you and the world around you to figure itself out, and that it's going to be okay in the end without you necessarily having to control every step on that process and get involved. And what really helps with this, in terms of knowing when to get involved in a situation or when to step back, is your feelings around that situation. So if you are taking an action because it comes from an aligned place, you're regulated, emotionally regulated within yourself, you're feeling good and confident within yourself, and you feel like taking that action is going to help and move you closer to the outcome that you want, then take that action, because you've reflected on it, you've thought about it, you've analysed the situation, and you're taking a step forward from a calm, centered, reflective place, using your inner intelligence and all the information that you have and assuming the best, i.e. this is going to get me closer to what I want to achieve, whether that is progressing something romantically or fixing a friendship or progressing in your career. Whereas if you are taking action from a place of anxiety, urgency, feeling like you need an answer straight away, feeling like you need to control the situation, that you feel out of control and not dominant, and therefore you need to do a load of things to manipulate that situation and fix it right away, often that will push you further from that outcome that you want. So going back to that example of, if you're not hearing back from someone who you're romantically interested in, if you really know your worth and your value and you trust in your connection, and you reflect on it for a few days and you think, that's odd that I haven't heard back, we were getting on really well, you might then decide to message that person and say, hey, I haven't heard from you, is everything okay? Or you might decide, you know what, I'm just going to trust them and leave it and trust that they're going to respond to me. Whereas if you don't hear back for a few days and you go into this anxious spiral about, what does this mean? Are they into me? Were they ever into me? Were they just leading me on? Were they love bombing me? Etc. That is more of a signal that you need to work on your inner self-belief and your confidence, and taking action from that state of being is coming from a less confident place and is less likely to get your perceived outcome or the outcome that you want. So to recap, can confident people be shy? Absolutely, because the definition of confidence is not, are you the loudest? The definition of confidence is, do you believe in yourself? And are you taking actions that are aligned with your values and you believe are going to achieve the outcome that you want? And do you believe that you are worthy and deserving of that outcome? Do you see yourself as someone who can achieve that outcome and you deserve it? And therefore, if you're taking those actions from that place, it's coming from a place of confidence, whether that is leaning forward or doing something or saying something, or leaning back and letting something play out, letting go of the wheel, taking your hands off the wheel, letting go of control, and just letting things play out naturally and at their own pace, and trusting that it's all going to work out. And the other thing I would add is that people who are truly confident within themselves, have that self-belief and feel worthy, show up as the most authentic version of themselves, and they don't care what other people think about them. So if you know within yourself that you are an introverted person, you're more quiet, reflective, and handle things in a different way to someone who's extroverted, being able to acknowledge that within yourself and own that is extremely powerful. And it's interesting. When I was younger, I was more extroverted, but as I've got older, I've become more introverted. And I find that more powerful now, because I can go into a room, meet a whole bunch of new people, maybe speak to a couple of people who I meet first, but observe what's going on, observe the different dynamics, focus on centering myself and making myself feel good and comfortable over how anyone else is interpreting me, And then when I feel good, I can much better have analysed the situation and read it. I feel like I'm coming from a place of more power and more confidence, because the conversations that I'm having are positive and light and playful, because I then feel confident and comfortable in that scenario, rather than trying to force myself to be a certain way, because I'm thinking more about how I'm coming across than what feels good to me. And once I took the pressure off myself to come across a certain way or make conversation and be one of the loudest, I found more people came to me. So more people were initiating conversations with me, even saying that they were intrigued because I didn't feel the need to dominate and say as much. And I was prioritizing how I was feeling rather than caring about them. And there's something that's energetically powerful about that, because people see it and recognize it quite quickly and go, oh, that person isn't looking for my validation. They might not know this group well, but doesn't mean that they're trying really hard to get in with us. They're just having a good time and being themselves. And so that's a very magnetic energy. And actually we do have a video on 10 steps to become magnetic, so I'll link that also down below. So once you are clear on who you are and what feels natural to you and feels good to you, and you own that, it's an extremely powerful and magnetic energy to other people as well. So maybe we should start seeing being shy and introverted as a really positive thing and a powerful thing, and not necessarily how I think it can be perceived at the moment, which is the downplayed version of being an extrovert, or we should change ourselves to become more extroverted. You can be introverted and that can be extremely magnetic to people. And again, when you're going into a situation and you're just reading it and figuring out how to show up, practice that self-awareness to understand, how do I want to act? What feels natural to me? And what am I hoping to get out of behaving in a certain way? Because if you go into a situation and you're trying to act in a certain way because you think that's what people will like and to get their approval, then that's going to be a repelling energy. Whereas if you go into a situation going, this is what feels good to me, so this is what I'm going to do, and I trust that I'm going to have a good time, or I'm going to get the outcome I want from this work meeting, and you approach it in that way, then you're going to have a much better outcome. And something that has helped me as well, another tip that just popped up for me, now when I go into situations, as well as reading the room and deciding how I'm going to approach it, I love to ask questions. So rather than feel the need to carry a conversation or be extroverted, I can observe and then ask a question, and people love to be asked their opinion. They love to share their story, and I love to hear it. So that's a great way of getting a conversation going, making people feel comfortable around you, building deeper connections without necessarily having to lead that conversation or feel like you need to change yourself and be more extroverted. And you can find out so much by asking those open questions. Oh, how do you know the person that set this up? How long have you been friends with them? What industry do you work in? How did you get into that job? Those open questions that come from curiosity can open someone up so much more, and then you can still be true to yourself if you're a shyer person, and just listen and observe and react, and then share things as you feel comfortable. So I hope that was helpful. Before we end this video as well, I'll mention that if you want to work with us in any way, all that information is in the description box below, and we are running a competition giveaway to start a movement around confidence. So if you subscribe to us and comment on any of our videos from the launch date, then you will automatically be entered into a competition to win one of 3 prizes worth hundreds of pounds, and that will be running until we get to 1,000 subscribers. So all the information is in the description box below. If you have any reactions or other questions to this topic around confidence or being introverted, would love to hear that in the comments below. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.